My name is Emily Rich, and I'm an occupational therapist, bringing you information today on how to manage fatigue in POTS, or postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. POTS is a form of dysautonomia, or dysfunction of the autonomic nervous system. More than 3/4 of people with POTS report symptoms of fatigue, which often results in decreased participation in daily activities. Today, I will outline 5 concepts that may help to manage POTS-related fatigue. Probably the number one treatment for POTS is increasing salt and fluid. There's a variety of strategies to accomplish this, and we know that this helps POTS symptoms, but how does this help fatigue specifically? Well, fluid plus salt increases the volume of blood in your body, and more blood circulating through your body means less tachycardia or heart racing. Since there's more blood to pump throughout the body, it's less work for the body, and then you have more energy to do things like digesting your food and are less likely to have those episodes of syncope or pre-syncope, feeling like you're going to pass out. Those episodes often contribute to fatigue, so we really want to avoid them as much as possible. On that note, about minimizing episodes of POTS, that leads us to our second strategy. Some strategies for support through positioning include elevating the legs when sitting, minimizing standing still for prolonged periods of time, and giving the body time to adjust when changing positions. These can all help to minimize stress on the body, which can lead to less fatigue. Over time, many patients with POTS begin to spend more time in bed, either laying down or in a reclined position because they feel sick when they're upright. But this often makes it more challenging for the body to adjust when you do need to sit or stand upright. Balance is essential, so time spent in a reclined position or with the legs elevated should be alternated with standing and moving around. My best advice? Avoid fully laying down during the day and opt for propping your legs up or reclining for short periods of time if you need a rest break. Speaking of lying in bed all day, our third strategy for managing fatigue is sleep hygiene. Although fatigue is different from sleepiness, sleep quality can play a role in boosting overall function, or conversely, it can contribute to increasing fatigue. Circadian rhythms, those internal biological processes that happen on a daily basis, those rhythms need to be consistent, or you might experience disruption in performance, clarity of thought, and, you guessed it, a state of fatigue. So, sleep hygiene. What does that mean? Here are some steps you can take to improve the quality and the amount of sleep. The idea here is to clearly separate daytime from nighttime. And times that you eat food also contribute to circadian rhythms. So ensure you're fueling your body throughout the day, starting in the morning. We aren't exactly sure why many patients with POTS have difficulty sleeping, but there's a theory of micro-arousals, or small blips in sleep throughout the night. The sensitive nervous system that we often see in people with POTS means it's so much more important to create an ideal quiet, dark, and comfortable environment for sleep. Exercise is important for similar reasons we've already discussed. If we can increase muscle tone in the body and decrease symptoms of POTS, then the body will be better prepared to handle all that the day brings. To be clear, exercise in treating fatigue is a preventative, long-term outcome. So typically you won't see the benefit for a while and you might feel worse before you feel better. Often, patients struggle to exercise because they're already so fatigued on a daily basis. So I would encourage you to build up your tolerance over time and be sure you're using all of the strategies together as no one of these strategies is going to resolve fatigue on its own. My favorite exercises are in recumbent positions, lying down, or seated to avoid stressing the body against gravity. For more resources on exercise, see the video description below. Our last strategy for managing fatigue in POTS is through energy conservation. Not the kind of energy you try and save on your electrical bill every month, but strategies to save energy where you don't need to use it so you have more energy for other tasks. For example, sitting down to take a shower, leaving frequently used items on the counter to avoid reaching your arms up overhead or squatting down in the kitchen, and asking for help, or maybe even a robot vacuum to clean your house. Work smarter, not harder. Along the same lines, pushing yourself to clean the whole house in one day actually requires more energy than if you spread it out over time. Imagine a pitcher of water is filled each day, and each task you do means you pour some water out of the pitcher. Different tasks require different amount of water depending on the amount of energy they take. So what happens when the pitcher is empty and you push yourself and you keep going anyway? This is incredibly hard on your body, and so instead, spread it out over time and pace yourself the best you can. I hope these 5 tips were helpful. Utilize salt and fluid, strategic positioning, sleep hygiene, exercise, and energy conservation. If you enjoyed this information, please be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the latest resources. See you next time.